In the heart of Africa, there's a creature that roams from the dense forests to the open plains and even the deserts of the continent. Relative to its size, it has a long, articulating nose that it uses to sift through dirt, grass, and hay in search of food. Now, if you're thinking, an African animal with a long nose? That's an elephant! You're only half right. However, if you're thinking of an African with something long that isn't a nose, you're a pervert. In order to guess which animal we have for you today, you're going to have to think smaller. Much smaller. Hi, I'm Jay, and you're watching Bad Science, the only show on YouTube that explores the animal kingdom to find the weirdest, most interesting creatures our planet has to offer. Then I teach you everything I learned about them the only way I know how. Badly. And I do mean everything, even the gross stuff. Today, we have a particularly weird and interesting animal to share with you, the elephant shrew. These tiny mammals have been confusing scientists for decades, and we're about to get to the bottom of these mini menaces. Let's get started. Elephant shrews are native to Africa, and they belong to the Macroscelidae order in the Macroscelididae family. Their common English name was given to them due to their decidedly elephant-like noses, but they don't really share any visual resemblances with the towering pachyderms beyond that. However, elephant shrews actually have more in common with their much larger cousins than they do with the shrews they more closely resemble. Phylogenetic analysis of elephant shrews has revealed that their evolutionary history and relationship with their environment actually means that they aren't true shrews at all, and are much more closely related to elephants. I guess you can't really judge a book by its cover. In order to prevent offending elephant shrews even further, the biologist Jonathan Kingdon suggested that they be called a different name in 1997, Sengus. A year later, the creatures were included in the new group classification called Afrotheria, which includes elephants, elephant shrews, aardvarks, and several others. There are 19 different species of elephant shrews that are spread out over 6 African countries. One of these species, the Somali elephant shrew, was thought to be wiped out for more than 50 years. From 1968 all the way up until 2020, nobody had seen or encountered a single one. We thought they were gone for good, but it turns out they were just in hiding. Maybe they were just taking a really good nap, or committing tax evasion. Elephant shrews can range from 4 to 12 inches long in their bodies, and their scaly tails can grow up to 9 inches long. Why are their tails scaly? I thought maybe they just don't use enough lotion, but it more likely has something to do with the scent gland that they have on the underside of their tails. The scales are used to disperse and spread those scents, which they then use for communication, as well as marking their territory. As diurnal animals, elephant shrews are always active during the day. However, that doesn't mean they're easy to come by. Since they're so small and delicious to a great number of predators, our friends are always on high alert, masters of camouflage, and extremely fast. Their tiny legs allow them to hop and bound up to about 20 miles per hour, which is definitely faster than either of us can run. But then again, we also aren't consistently being hunted by snakes, lizards, and birds. At least I don't think we are. To keep them safe as they spend their day looking for bugs to munch on, some of these little bastards have even been known to dig a series of tunnels and pathways through their environments. These paths then act as pre-planned escape routes when predators show up. Elephant shrews are excellent at planning ahead. If you watch an elephant shrew eat, you'll notice that it has a long, thin tongue, kind of like an anteater. They use their gross noses to disturb dirt and sand so that bugs scramble to leave their hiding places, and then their long, sticky tongues grab those bugs as they try to escape. If bugs are in short supply, then they'll also settle for leaves, seeds, and fruits. Talk about a balanced diet. Hey, wait! Now's the time. Subscribe to the channel to be entertained while learning. It's free! Like some of you viewers, elephant shrews aren't very social at all. They avoid living in large groups, and they're also fiercely territorial. If a neighboring animal, or even another elephant shrew, ventures into their territory, they'll attack without thinking, screaming, biting, and scratching away until they convince the intruder to turn tail. They'll even bite and attack humans that pose a threat to their territory. These little beings were surely produced in hell. However, they don't always live alone. Adult elephant shrews form monogamous pairs and mate for life, which is decidedly rare in the animal kingdom. But then again, you shouldn't assume that pairs of elephant shrews are all lovey-dovey in their little love nests. They don't interact with each other very much, and don't even seem to care for each other's company. The only reason they pair up appears to be for the purpose of reproduction. They'll even build separate nests in the same territory. Speaking of reproduction, female elephant shrews undergo menstrual cycles very similar to the ones humans experience. In fact, elephant shrews are one of the small handful of animals, other than primates, to experience this. But I don't think knowing that would make them any happier. Fun fact, scientists in the 1940s used the menstrual cycle of female elephant shrews to study the human menstruation cycle. Just in case you forgot, scientists are freaks. After elephant shrews do the bow chicka wow wow, they return to their individual nests and continue their solitary ways. The female then undergoes a gestation period that lasts between 45 and 60 days, and then they give birth to 1 to 3 baby elephant shrews. The elephant shrew mating season occurs 4 or 5 times every year, which means they can have as many as 15 offspring in a year. Imagine ending your year with 15 babies in your care. What a nightmare that would be. Thankfully, baby elephant shrews aren't as weak and helpless as human babies are. These little bastards are ready to run around within hours after being born, and are shockingly well developed from when they enter the world. As mammals, baby elephant shrews subsist on their mother's milk for about a week. After that, they are slowly weaned off of milk with a mixture of mashed insects. And that's not even the worst part. The insects are chewed up by the mother elephant shrew and then transported back to the nest in her cheek pouches. Hey, this is the stuff they're going to be eating for the rest of their lives, so they have to get used to it somehow. They keep to the safety of the nest for their first several days of life, but then they are ready to move out just 15 days after being born. 1 month after that, they're sexually active and ready to establish a nest with their own mate away from their parents. They really do grow up so fast. I wish I could say that everything was going swell for our friend, the elephant shrew, but that's unfortunately not at all the case. Due to deforestation caused by the agriculture and logging industries, the elephant shrews are a vulnerable endangered species. The fragmentation of their habitats makes it difficult to find their life mates, hunt for food, and hide from their many predators. They're fiercely territorial, as I mentioned before, but even their fiercest screams and bites are no match for humanity's forest leveling machines. Places like the African Wildlife Foundation are hard at work to protect our tiny friends by trying to find a healthy balance between modernization and conservation. But making sure these mini elephants have a place to live is an ongoing battle. But if we all work together, we can ensure a bright future for the elephant shrew and animals like them. Thanks for watching this episode of Bad Science. I'm Jay, and make sure to leave a like if you enjoyed the video. While you're at it, make sure to subscribe to EdPOP for a brand new episode of Bad Science every week. And leave a comment if there's a particular animal you would like to see featured in an episode. See you next time.